Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman's fan-made script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these four different stems to make our consonants, and vowels are smaller circles, and they're in different positions depending on what vowel they are, and if they're enclosed on one of these four stems. So this is like an E by itself, just on the word circle. This is a BE, because this is a B stem. This is a JE, because this is a J stem. TE, this is T stem, and THE. So TH stem. So it makes the most sense in practice. Let's go ahead and look at this design. So it's read bottom counterclockwise, and these are like two kind of sentence circles containing some words inside them. So each of these sentence circles has two words, two words in it. And you could read these left to right, or you could read them bottom counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter since these are just names. So anyway, let's go ahead and start left to right. So here's our first sentence circle, and then we read the bottom one first, and then the second one is counterclockwise from that. So here's our first word, and here's our first letter on that word because it's at the bottom. So it's this shallow divot on this word circle, so the word circle line is thin, and this shallow divot is in this row, and let's look at what lines end on it. So now, even though these lines are straight in the picture, they can be curved, which is what these thick lines are. So we have one curved line and a second curved line, so that makes this a W. And then we continue around. Here we have a small circle, so it's a vowel, on the line of the word circle, so that would be an E, I, or U, and it's got a line going towards the middle, so that is an I, so like this. So W, I, and then we have a double line. So these 1, 2 lines make a double line, so that's a double letter of this stem. Because they're the same thickness, we know they're the same letter. So let's go ahead and look at what's closest to it. So we have this thing here, and it's not a dot because it's got a big circle, like it's empty in the middle, so it's just a circle, so it's a vowel, which is empty in the middle. The vowels are empty in the middle. And these are the dots. So we're going to look at the dots. 1, 2, 3 dots are all closest to this stem. This one is closer here than here. So 3 dots on a double letter makes that an L. So LL. And then we have this. And it's like a bead on a string on this stem. And it is towards the middle, so it is an O. So it's like this. The O could be anywhere, like a bead on a string on this stem. And it's just right in the middle, so it's pretty obviously an O. So double L, O. And then we have our next letter, which is the same thing as this one. It's another shallow divot here with 1, 2 lines. So W-I-L-L-O-W is our first name. And we have our second name here. Here is our first letter. It's a deep divot, so it's in this row. And the difference between these two stems is this one is 50% or less completed of the shallow divot. And then this one is more than 50% completed, so it like curves back in around itself. So this is a D because it's this deep divot with 3 dots. D. Continue around, here's another vowel. A, because it's outside the word circle. And then we have another W, just like these guys. 1, 2 lines. I like making W's into concentric circles because they look cool. Anyway, so here we have 1 line, 2 lines on the W, and then we have our last letter, and it's in this row because it's inside the word circle. And lines that pass through do not count, which is why these lines didn't count here. Anyway, so we have lines passing through it and 1 line ending on it. So it's important that this one ends here because that is the 1 line this stem needs to be an N. So Willow Dawn. And then we have our next couple names. And if we look at this first word, here's our first letter. It's the same stem as this, so it's in this row. And it has 1, 2 lines on it. So kind of similar to how I've been doing the W's, except this is a deep divot, so that is an H. And then we have a little circle, so that's a vowel, with a line going outwards. So that is a U, H-U, and then we have our next letter. It's another circle inside the circle like this one, or this double circle. And it has 1 line on it here. So just like this one had 1 line on it. So this is another N. And then we have a shallow divot with no lines or dots ending on it because this line passes through, this one passes through. And these dots are all in this word, just like these dots are in this word. And these dots are all close to this stem. So this is just a T. Then we have a vowel on the line of the word circle with no line, so that is an E. Then 1, 2, 3 dots all close to this stem, so that is an R. So H-U-N-T-E-R. And then we have our next word, bottom. Here's our first stem. Even though it's kind of similar to the vowels, it's still bigger than, things. And this has a lot of words, a lot of letters in the word, so some of the consonants are a bit smaller. But it has dots on it, and no vowel has dots on it. So here we have a L, because 1, 2, 3 dots on a circle inside the circle. This is the L. This is just a line from the N. This is just a line from the U. So L, A, because it's outside the word circle. This is the L with 3 dots. A. Continuing around here, we have a W. 1, 2 lines on the W. And then we have an E. So this is on the line of the word circle or closer to the middle. So that is an E, because the E on the T-stem is hard to tell from the A on the T-stem, but if you imagine this line continuing through, the A is outside of it, whereas the E is on the line or inside of it. So W-E, then we have another shallow divot with another E in it, and this one has 1, 2, 3 dots, so that's an R. E. Now we have another stacked double letter. So we have these two stems, right, just like these two stems, except they're one is thicker and one is thinner, so they're different sizes. So that means they're different letters. So they're both in this row because they're both circles in the circle, but we have a thick one and a thin one. We read the thin one first. So this thin one has 1 line on it, so that is an N. And then this thick one has 1, 2, 3, 4 dots coming from it. And this is a vowel, so it can't have dots again. So 4 dots on this, it makes it a C, and this C is special. You're only supposed to use this C if it is part of a proper noun, because sometimes people, like, you know, it's a different name if it's like a Kate with a C or a Kate with a K. So anyway, this is a Lawrence with a C instead of an S. So this is a C here, and then we have that E at the end of the word. So L-A-W-E-R-E-N is the thin one, C is the thick one, and then the E. So H-U-N-T-E-R, and then Lawrence. So yeah, that is this design. I hope you love it. I think it stacks pretty well as 2 connected circles of the same size. So that is that. I hope it makes sense. If you have anything else or any questions, feel free to contact me. Bye.